Good afternoon, Cedar Park, and welcome back to our opinion segment, The Pack Chat. I'm Ellie Neal, and I'm joined today by co-host Addie Bates and guests Preston Scott and Luke Johnson. We would love to know what your thoughts are on today's show, so head over to our Insta story at TBHS News to let us know what your thoughts are. With that being said, let's get started with our first trending topic of the morning. Earlier this week at the Park Commons Ford Ranch, there has been a release video of a park ranger getting pushed into the water after telling kids to keep their distance from each other. While the majority of the crowd can be heard saying respectful things like, "Yes, sir," and "We've got you, man," one 25-year-old man named Brandon Hicks pushed the park ranger in the water. He was arrested and could face a lot of time in jail. What do y'all think about this? Is he maybe just a guy under the influence? Or do you think with all these protests recently, we could start to see this become our new normal?
So here's my whole deal on this. Like, I get it. We're in quarantine, so we've just been let out. Like, they've released, like, the stay-at-home orders. Now I get it. There's, like, been a lot of stress, a lot of, like, build-up and all that kind of stuff. So maybe he didn't mean it in the moment. But, I mean, I want to say he regretted it, but I saw his mugshot and he was
I saw it too. And he has the biggest smile on his face. And I was okay.
He's doing stupid things right now.
Exactly. But I do feel like it was kind of, just thinking about that situation, I'm like, I feel like it kind of has to be like an in the moment type of thing. Like, I'm like, I feel like, let's say this kid or this man, I mean, he's 25. Let's say he was completely sober. I don't think that we would have seen those actions, especially because if you watch the video, the park ranger is being so nice. I mean, you can tell that there's so many kids there underage drinking and whatnot, but all he wants is just for them to scoot a little bit apart. And like I said, like the majority of the people were being so respectful. They're being so nice about it. And so I just feel so bad for him. Like, I'm just especially because he was a park ranger. And also I'm like wondering would we have seen the same reaction if it was a police officer instead of a park ranger? Even though on like the level of like how long you'd go to jail for assaulting one, they're about the same. Like, it's still like a public servant that was pushed in the water, but
it probably would have been awful if it was a police officer. Just on the spot, it would have been way worse.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like assault of a city official, so there's no other way to sugarcoat it.
But going back to what I said earlier about how I'm curious about to see like how this might play out for our future. As you guys have all seen, there's been these protests recently, and in the protests, like, these people are getting very, very close to police officers' faces. And so I'm just wondering, do you think that this will be the last that we will see of an incident like this, or do you think that we could honestly expect more?
My neighbor said something about a couple months ago, and it was like this, like, I don't know, I think about it all the time. It's like, try telling Americans they can't do something for like 2 weeks. A lot of people don't like being told like what to do and stuff like that. So I think this is just like a backlash kind of thing. Like when he's saying be safe and all that kind of stuff, people are like, well, I'm not here to have fun. Like, don't tell me what to do kind of thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll see more of this. I mean, we see this kind of stuff. I mean, when we're all, like I said, like we're all stuck in our house all the time, people don't like that. So I'm sure we'll see like more of this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next, in February, an unarmed Georgia man named Ahmaud Arbery was jogging in a neighborhood when two neighbors named Gregory McMichael and his son Travis decided to grab their shotgun and chase after Arbery. They did this because they thought Ahmaud Arbery looked like the suspect of someone who's been breaking into people's houses there recently. The duo shot Arbery twice, and now the video of the incident has been released. McMichael, the one that shot Arbery, claimed that Arbery tried to get the gun away from the son and therefore he was shot in self-defense. No charges were filed when the incident first happened, but now with this video out, a lot of people are calling for justice. What do you guys think about this?
Okay, I have a lot to say about this, and I'm going to start off with something. So 2020 is going to mark 65 years since the lynching of Emmett Till, which for those who don't know, Emmett Till was a 50-year-old African-American teenager who visited his family in Mississippi and was brutally beaten and murdered because he catcalled at a white woman, which I can't emphasize this enough. Decades later, she said that was untrue.
It's a lie, yeah.
up is that it's 2020, and the idea that a man can't peacefully go on a jog like without living in fear because of the color of his skin is insane to me. And he can't even get justice right now because the guy that shot him was a former DA. So there's like conflict of interest. Like, this is insane. And as Americans, we should be embarrassed by this.
Exactly. But honestly, Addie, going off of what you said, I feel like we hear the conflict of interest card a lot when it comes to, you know, people of color being innocent, like they're innocent and like being brutally murdered. And I just feel like in this situation, it just like, it comes down to the fact that I can't even say that, you know, the McMichaels like intentions were good, because I'm like, first of all, it was a robbery suspect. It wasn't a serial killer, you know? So the use of the shotgun, I feel like, was very unnecessary for that even to be their first incident. Also, I'm very positive that police always are like, please call us, never go after a suspect on your own. So the fact that, and I mean, like you said, he was a former DA, retired DA, so I'm like, I'm not surprised that he felt the need to like go off and do that on his own, but I'm just like, why does this happen all the time? Well, once again, I feel like we can see that nothing will probably be done about it, which is just what makes it so much more frustrating, you know?
Well, they were trying to make a citizen's arrest, and they were getting mad because they were trying to take the shotgun. It's like, honey, if somebody was coming at me with a shotgun, I would try to do everything I can.
Me too. I wouldn't, especially when you have no idea why someone's doing that. Like, obviously, he was doing nothing wrong. He was going for a jog. He was probably so confused. He was probably like, why did these people just walk up to me with a shotgun?
Well, and the thing is like, there's still like, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, like Emmett Till, he never received justice because like the jury was an all-white jury. And back in 1955, I mean, obviously they're going to side with like the white people. And by now, because he's a former DA and there's a bunch of conflict of interest because he's like worked with all these people, it means like, when are people of color going to be able to like get justice? Because this is ridiculous and it's the 21st century and this still happens.
Exactly. Luke, do you have any?
Yeah, McMichael and his son, their key argument is that they think that he was the suspect of a robbery, but the video clearly shows him in just like a t-shirt and shorts jogging, which is not exactly the attire of a person who's going to rob a house. And they're just waiting on the top of the street, just like waiting for him while he's jogging towards them. And it just looks like a murder in cold blood.
Yeah.
I agree, because even if they thought it would, like, just thinking it was the suspect of a robbery that's not enough to go chase him down with a shotgun.
Exactly. And they said it was self-defense, but I'm like, self-defense is reaching for someone's gun now. Like, I'm pretty sure self-defense is if he pulled the gun on them first, but he didn't. He just tried to get the gun away from McMichael's son, which I'm like, literally, I would do the same thing. But all I'm gonna say is I bet I probably wouldn't get killed for it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave out that. But like you said, Addie, it's really terrible that we are in the 21st century and this stuff just happens, and I feel like it just happens too much. Like we just had so many years of this, and it breaks my heart. Well, thank you guys all for being here and for tuning in. And remember, T-Wolf Pack, there's always time to chat. Thank you, guys.
Hey there, Evan Vines here. If you liked what you saw, make sure to hit that like button. And if you enjoy all things CPHS, hit subscribe. Have a great day or not, the choice is yours.